Right guys, I'm out again for another wild camp, and I'm somewhere a little bit different. I'm on the coast, the Solway Firth, and what it is, I've bought a new bivvy bag, the Snug Pack Stratosphere, and I've never tried it yet. I wanted something with a little bit of a protection from the bugs, something with a bug net. If you watched my last video, you would have realised that I was getting absolutely hammered by the midges, so I decided to get something that will give us a bit more protection but still have that kind of bivvy experience. So this is the first time I'm going to use it, so you guys will get a chance to see it firsthand. Comes with two lots of aluminium pegs, which is better than their fiberglass, a lot lighter. Both of them are colour coded. There's no instructions, but you don't really need it. You have to be a total divvy if you don't know how to put this up like. You see there the pole colour. You've got a green tab on there which corresponds to the green pole, and the other one's black, and that's for the black pole. So you don't need instructions. It takes 6 pegs to to put it out, but there's a 7th peg. It says 6 pegs and 1 spare, but you do need that anyway because this is for your ventilation. But if it's really, if the weather's bad, if it's raining heavy or whatever, you can bring this flap down and your 7th peg goes there, which basically, if it's raining, if it's bad weather, you still got your ventilation, but you've got the flap, stop the rain getting in. And I'd recommend leaving that down all the time because, I think it gives a bit of extra stability. And plus these bivvies aren't as breathable as a Gore-Tex. So I think you've got to have like a bit... In fact, to be honest with you, I would always try and sleep with a little bit of a, with the door slightly open anyway, unless it was really chucking to do with rain. You've got 3/4 zip as well, and they've got these stone flaps on. And I watched a video, somebody had problems zipping it all the way up and trying to zip it. It's got double zips, right, one at each end. But what somebody was trying to do was zip it all the way up and all the way around here, and that's the tight part. Well, what you do is you only zip it up as far as here with the bottom zip, and the other side you zip across. So both zips join here. I mean, it will go all the way around, one way or the other way, but it's a bit tight. And the top one is the outer. Anyway, good design. I like these stone flaps. See how the zip is covered from the bottom, and then this comes down over the top of that. It's got Velcro on. Here it's got, it's like 2 really thick bits, and I think that's just to help to keep it down. Under there, it's more rigid. It's a bit fiddly like. It helps if you open the bottom bit first and then do the top. And I suppose it's once you're inside you can sort of grasp the zips a bit better than leaning over and fumbling like I was doing. But when you're not using the bug net, you can just fold it up. You only need to zip it to there, and then you bring the other zip across. Instead of trying to put the zip all the way around here, because it's tight. Having it this way, you see, you've got a peephole. That's your bug net. See how you can fold it back up when you're not using it. And I'll tell you what I like this little, it's like a little black pouch. You know, it's zipped as well. You know that's good for, put a torch in, put your keys in, your mobile phone, that sort of thing. It's a good, well thought out little idea, that, like. So the bottom one there, that's for your bug net, which is folded away. So the other zip, it's difficult, like with one hand. Top zip, closes it completely. That's it. So that's how I would have it, like. You know, if it was really hot and I wanted more ventilation, just vent the top like that. And I suppose that's the purpose of having the zips where they meet in the middle, so you can partially vent it. There you go, bottom zip does your bug net. And that's the view, guys. It's all about the views, apparently. Quick look at Scotland over there, across the Solway Firth. Splendid, eh? And you can see there the bug net when it goes as far as that point there. But I love wild camping, me. You cannot beat it, can you? Not with views like that. I'm in love with it. I'm in love with life. I'm in love with wild camping. And I'm in love with you, the viewers, for watching and subscribing and liking me videos. You know what I mean? I'm full of rubbish, aren't I? I'm just happy to be out. I was worried about that tide coming in now. Oh nah, should be alright, like. The tide's out, but it's high tide tonight is 12:20, and this whole area, if it's a spring tide, I don't know when the spring tides are, it's going to be 8.7 metres high, the tide tonight. I don't know if that's a high tide or a low tide. This whole area is prone to flooding, so I'm taking a bit of a chance, like. You can see here the high water mark, you've got all that, you know, seaweed and that. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it does flood. And I'm using the Tesco Microlite Mummy Sleeping Bag. Comfort rating 12 degrees to 15 degrees Celsius, 800 grams. It's something I rarely use, this, like the Tesco Mummy Sleeping Bag, because my 3-season downfill sleeping bag is about the same size, compact right down, and I prefer that. Obviously it gives us a bit more warmth as well, but you know, I want to get some use out of it, and it's, you know, it's the same sort of colour as well. It looks nice, you know what I mean, and plus it's like I said, synthetic, goes well with bivvy bags, you know, get them wet and they're still good to go, you know. was having a wander along the beach before and I came across this, and I think it's something to do with the Second World War, like a lookout, like an observation post or something. A little bit small, eh? I've got steps here. Speed here. Interesting nonetheless. But round here, you could probably bivvy in there, you know. Canny little shelter that. It's about 6 foot long. Like a cupboard or something. Got a bit of a window. Interesting. I've never seen anything like this. Ah, that tide doesn't seem to be coming in much, does it? It's supposed to be high tide in about 3 hours. It doesn't look very threatening at all. That should be alright there, like. As you can see here, there's different high tide marks. It's like one there. It's like another one's there, but I think they're the extreme high tides, they're the spring tides. But I'm over there. You can just see the Bivvy. Beautiful place, this, like that wind's dropped, that's lovely that. I wanted to move to a tent, to be honest with you. I was getting soft in my old age, but you know, tents are the logical solution, especially when you're camping in the hills now, because I'm doing a little bit more hill walking now. But I love me bivvy. I love the bivvy experience. I do like that little flap in the back, because what that allows me to do is I can keep food under there, or even me buddy burners, because the last time I was out they got wet and it was just right swine to get a fire going in the morning. So keeping them under there is probably a good idea. I mean, the food can go in my bag. Get out and do a bit of wild camping, you know it makes sense. You know it makes sense. Get out and do a touch of wild camping. I let us stop doing that, you know, I get rang. People give us rang for doing the horn. I tell you what's got me baffled about this, right? This bivvy. Now, why have they got 2 eyelets, right? I mean, on all the videos I've seen on YouTube, people are basically putting them into the far. I think they'll be a little bit tighter to put them into the ones nearer there. But I don't know if it's maybe if the bivvy stretches perhaps, and you know, and it gets a bit slack with wear and tear. Maybe you have to adjust it and put it onto an eyelet. But that's it, guys. This is me home for the night, I suppose. This beautiful location on the Solway Firth in England. Scotland is just, well, probably about a mile away. Bonnie, Scotland. Right, I'm going to have something to eat before it gets too dark. Wind's totally dropped, so that's a good thing. And I brought my gloves, very important. I'm sitting burning my fingers. And I'm going to have my favourite this time, the beef in black bean sauce. Absolutely beautiful. And I've got some curried noodles to put in. Actually, the curry flavour is in the sachet. If you don't use the sachet, you can add this to any other one that you want. Aye, A-sticks. That's a really good idea, that. I suppose the beauty with this is just knee washing up. You know what I mean? That's the simplicity of it. But like I said, there's a concern that the ink could leak through. If there is inks using the packaging. Some say there is, some say there isn't. So I don't know. I only do this once, well, not very often, so as long as I'm not doing it every day, I suppose the risk is small, if there is a risk, that is. But I don't snip the top off yet. I'll let it heat up, but you've got to be careful, because if it starts to expand, the air inside, it'll expand and it could explode, you know, so you've got to keep an eye on it. But it will heat up a lot quicker if you don't tear the seam straight away. But once it starts to get hot, it's a good idea to get your noodles put in. Doesn't need much actually to rehydrate them. But this is my favourite one of a lot of them. Got 1 or 2 noodles floating in the water, so that'll be coffee noodles, or noodles and coffee later. Getting dark now, like. It's getting on for, well, 11:15 now. I think that's about ready, that, like, bubbling away there. Yes. Just let that bad boy cool for a little while. Get your coffee made. I should have used my gloves, by the way, but I forgot. Doesn't get much simpler than this. Nice, quick and easy, and very little washing up. That's definitely a winner. Beef and black bean sauce and noodles. Tide doesn't look very threatening at all, does it? Probably another hour and a half to high tide. Or maybe it's 2 hours, and it's. I think I've cracked it. Like, I'm not gonna get floated out to sea, am I? Well, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm in my bivvy, but I can't get to sleep. Still isn't high tide yet, and that water is still rising. High tide's supposed to be 1:25. That's if it's right, but it's just a menacing sound. It's just that water's getting louder and louder. I'm checking it every 10 minutes and it just keeps rising. It's less than 5 metres away now. Supposed to stop, well, it's half an hour past what I thought was high tide. Still coming in, like. Getting a bit concerned now. I should have known, but I'm on a seaweed all the way around here, you know what I mean? The tide comes up here. Why did I not realise? Oh man. And while I'm waiting to be taken by the sea, I'll cheer myself up with a little story, or a little tale I'll share with you. A few years ago, you know, I used to go night fishing off the rocks near where I live, Camas Rocks. And they're notorious for people getting cut off there. I was a bit naive. I went on my own, and I should have went with somebody else, like. But I was fishing there for a while, and then 2 guys turned up that arrived after me. They only fished for about an hour, and then they were getting packed up, ready to go. I thought they were there, way sharp. And then they left, and all I heard was one of them shouting, "You better get off now, you're going to get cut off." And I turned around, and I was just surrounded by water. What was a big pile of rocks was a tiny little island surrounded by water. I was cut off. I had to jump about a metre over the water, and I slipped as well. I had me like fishing bag and that, and the rocks were really wet. So I learnt a valuable lesson that day. Never underestimate the sea. Always look around you, make sure there's not water, you know, you don't get cut off. I mean, I'd like to say I'm high and dry, but I'm not really. That grass is a bit more covered. I think it's still rising, but not as much. I'm quite happy if that doesn't get covered up. You can just see it there. See the water licking over the top of it. Morning. Well, had a decent sleep. I woke up really early this morning to the sheep bleating. I don't know if they were trying to tell us something, maybe I was on their patch or something. So overall I'm happy with the bivvy. I was expecting a little bit of condensation, but it didn't happen. That's good airflow. Well, it was quite windy last night and it wasn't too damp, so you know there was no condensation. That rear vent, you know, it's always there. You've got to have that. You know, that meant there was plenty of air getting in. Because it wasn't raining last night, there wasn't any bugs, well, not many anyway. I kind of just lay like that with it open, looking at the stars till about 2 o'clock, and it started to get light, so and it started to cloud over a little bit. So I kind of like enclosed it and tried to get to sleep. You see, it came right in, like only about 5 meters away. At one point, I nearly, because it just seemed like it was kept coming in. It wasn't going to stop, and then I nearly sort of had to move everything, but it kind of subsided it. So it's a game of chicken. I'm afraid that I won. The sea lost, and you know, and now the next time, like, to check properly with the tides. Got rain coming in a couple of hours, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get packed away. Just saves us having to like get everything out again later and drying it off. If I just pack it away dry now, that's it done for the next time. No doubt I'll be seeing you all on the next time, hopefully.